Close your eyes and cast yourself back to the year 1541, a time when noble hands shaped the earth and castles rose like dreams from the soil. In this resplendent estate, the Neveux family embraced the brilliance of their storied legacy, indulging in a festivity of art, refinement, and high society. Every corner of their wonderful chateau tells a story of grace, exuberance, and passion. For decades, Diane and Jacques, the last of the Neveux line to call this place home, presided over their ancestral domain. The scent of freshly prepared meals would have mingled with the laughter of friends and the elegance of an aristocratic life. Yet today, the chateau is no longer what it once was. Abandoned since the turn of the millennium, time has treated it the way billowing winds treat the autumn leaves, shaping and weathering it until only faint shadows of grandeur remain. These walls once bursted with vivid paintings of wild hunts and glittering feasts. Now they stand muted and worn, silently inviting the forgotten stories of their vibrant days to be revived. You're about to encounter a place where time and decay now expose the secrets of its former royalty. Come with us as we wander through this masterpiece of antiquity, where each step offers not only a glimpse into history, but also a question. How does grandeur slip so quietly into the endless arms of time? Welcome back, everybody. It feels good to be back in Europe again. It's been a long time, and today we're actually gonna explore a grandiose abandoned chateau again in France. I'm really excited to show it to you. It has still a lot of history. I think it has been abandoned for multiple decades already, because there is plenty of decay inside, right?
2001.
And yeah, I'm currently standing in the basement, and yeah, without further ado, let's just explore this place together. As you can see, Raymond's also over here.
Back in France, man. It has been a long time since we've been here. But I'm pretty excited. This was like a barn part where they would store all the equipment.
A little workshop or something. Some pots and ceramics over here.
Then we continue in the basement, and I need to say it's pretty huge basement, to be honest, right?
Yeah. What do we have over here?
Look, all the boxes.
Oh yeah.
Unfortunately, I can't look for gold because old chairs are stapled on top of them.
Oh look, and actually on top of it, they have some old rackets that they probably used for a French game.
Yeah. This one is properly old. It's made of stray, man.
Also look over there on the sides. We have some old pots and some tins.
It looks pretty repulsive. I think it's leather.
Maybe it has melted or something.
Yeah.
Over time. I don't know, sometimes it's strange how items decompose over time because of decay.
Yeah, this is leather.
And then actually over here we have this little... It used to be a carriage.
Yeah, well, for a baby of course, but...
Yeah, how cute. And then how sweet with iron wheels and everything beneath it.
Have you ever found a small one like this?
No. Well, we're actually going to find quite a few prams inside this place.
Oh yeah.
Later on. So you definitely gotta keep watching till the end. Over here on the ground we also have plenty of old magazines as well from 1989. Dating from 10 years before we were born.
Well, the last date I found was 2001. So that's why I said that during the intro.
That would be like 21 years right now already of abandonment.
Yeah, and you can definitely tell that.
Oh, actually, have you seen this? Behind this door? Look.
Oh, I haven't seen this part yet. It's a surprise.
And it really smells like wine in this room. It makes sense, but you can still smell that strong scent of wine.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
Ha.
A little wine cellar, and over there in the pot are still the corks as well. Surreal and other products over there.
They are all like fake and vanished. Ah.
Oh, look at that.
And they're full.
I got to say, if you look, there is also still a bicycle and everything. And this little chair. And this kind of cage. This basement holds a lot of secrets between all this rubbish at first.
Yeah. Can I say antiques? Or should I just say vintage stuff, right?
I think for such a French chateau, you
Yeah.
can definitely sometimes use the term antique.
Yeah.
Because we've been in the USA as well together, and that was more old school and vintage items. Old fashioned sometimes.
True that.
But hey, we are in the country of castles. France. Oh, look over here. This was actually the area in the basement where they used to wash their things. Maybe also skins and also parts of their horses. And their cattle. Pretty interesting stove over here.
Well,
Nah, you can't open that.
no, I can't open it up. It's probably rusty. All the chairs over there.
This used to be a little bathtub, I think. For a child.
Oh, yeah. Well, decades ago, they used to wash themselves in these type of bathtubs.
Uh-huh.
Even my grandfather did that. He told me once.
Have a look at this. This very old oven.
Oh, yeah.
This very old stone oven.
Uh-huh.
That's how they made their pizzas back in the days, I guess.
They could make some proper pizza over here.
Then on top they have this kind of pot, so maybe they could also cook something in that.
Maybe boil something.
Yeah.
Water, I think.
Yeah, because of the heat probably that rose.
Yeah. Well,
You can see the green color over here.
I was about to say, this is the only green mold we will see in here. The only other thing you will see...
Is black mold.
Yeah.
There is so much black mold in this place. Well, then over here we have some more wines.
Don't you think this used to hang up on the wall? No, huh?
I don't know.
But it didn't used to be in that state.
Oh my gosh, look at that. Look how many flies there are over here.
Phew.
All those black dots of flies. I'm just gonna show you the bicycle because that's pretty nasty.
Wood.
Oh, over here they had a lot of charcoal.
Oh yeah. A big storage.
For all their stoves in the chateau. And now they've been lying here for a long time.
Well, there is not a wine storage actually.
Whoa! Oh, that is a lot of wine again, my friends. And all those other bottles as well, with liquor and everything. You can definitely tell that these people liked a nice glass of wine. There are some more, yeah. Look at that. Oh, I gotta say, a pretty disgusting smell.
Yeah.
This moldy old wine smell that we're experiencing right now.
Wait, what is that over there? I want to look at that.
What are you curious about? The boxes?
Yeah, man. Oh, I thought this was a handle, but it's just a cobweb.
Nothing inside.
Nothing inside. Nah, nothing inside. I thought there was some champagne actually.
This bicycle is properly old. 𝗦𝘁cie𝗿𝗆𝗍. I've never heard about that brand. Look at the headlight of this bicycle too, like.
Yeah, what the heck?
Over here we still have the place where they would store some of their food products in the basement. They made this little iron net in front for all the mice, rats and other vermin, so they could not get inside.
Uh-huh.
As you can tell, we still have all the empty jars of confiture and jam.
It's quite surprising that they are all empty.
And you can also see the woodworm and everything that has just...
Completely taken over.
yeah, on those wooden planks. I still can't believe. How many bottles do you think there are?
I think around 500, something like that. Well, and not only down here, but with these and the ones in the back.
Yeah, easily.
Easily. What's this? A school bag?
It's interesting because look at this design one more time. It looks like it's part of a shirt or something.
Yeah.
Well, maybe a very old school bag.
Yeah, it could be. It definitely looks like it, right? Yeah, over here we have just a barricaded door. Well...
And over here is all the wood stock from their wood burning stoves.
And right over here we have another working part.
Everything is actually stored on top of a billiards table. Because this used to be a beautiful billiards table. Look at the corners too, with those hands and the carved wooden design.
Ha, and the ball would come out here.
Oh, that's cool. I've never seen it that way.
No, it's really special. What a neat design. Well, this is also cool. A miniature. And it's definitely not the castle.
Maybe it's somewhere nearby, because there is a lot of farmland around.
Uh-huh. Oh yeah, that could be.
It's such a serene atmosphere over here.
Yeah.
The chateau is just located in the French campagne, as they would say.
Yeah.
The countryside.
There is a huge land around the castle.
Yeah, exactly. And look at this over here. This is how they would have transported all their stuff from the barn to here and the other way. Back in the day.
It's still properly working. You could still use it.
Yeah. Well, thankfully we have modern day technology nowadays and cars and other big farm vehicles and trucks to do this. Always like those old stone Engelnook fireplaces as well. Actually, over here we have some more vintage items too, like over here you can see where they used to make the tars with and all the pies.
Yeah.
And over here I believe there's another old scale as well. Yeah, look at that. The weights are also still there, right in front of it as well.
It's quite strange how they stored all the kitchen equipment down here. I don't see a kitchen nearby.
Well, actually back in the day, oh look, at the same giant abacus over here as well, probably for the score of the billiards. But probably back in the day, there were servants in the basement working here. And they probably used to prepare meals and everything, and
Look. All the pots and the pans.
a really long time ago that was also in a very primitive way of cooking, with the wood and the fire from the fireplace, and they made everything here.
Oh yeah.
Oh, look at the one right next to you. Oh, look at that.
Huh?
Right next to you.
Oh, what is that?
Those are like sparrows. They look like weapons.
Yeah, but it's just, I've never seen them before.
I've gotta say, out of a lot of basements that we've seen, this is a fairly interesting one.
Yeah.
We haven't seen the entire castle yet, but we're already quite some time on this exploration.
I think this is just a storage, to be honest.
Yeah, it seems mostly storage for gardening.
Yeah.
Some bathtubs over there as well. And also the boiler room.
No. Not much to see. Ha! All the...
Boots are standing there, the head as well, with the umbrellas.
This is a single room, I think.
Yeah, a lot of their storage. And I see you questioning, why are most of the jars empty? Well, they were probably all used for canning their food products for the scarce winter periods. Ha, and over here we still have a lot of garlic. Some beers.
Oh!
2010?
Yeah, I think so.
It seems that this place has been abandoned for a longer time, especially when we're gonna see the amount of presence of mold and fungus.
The place has some proper decay, like proper decay. I need to say, it's the best spot to start with again in France, because you will be amazed about it.
And right over here we have these little steps going up, and we have those tiles on the floor. A neat floor pattern. Take a look at that.
Beautiful.
We're starting to see a beautiful spiral staircase going all the way up. Also seeing his iron banister.
Yeah. Well, and before we go upstairs, look, this is matching the wallpaper. Actually, it's another storage area.
Yeah, you also see this in French castles, and we're also going to see in this specific chateau that all the wallpaper is just matching each other, and these doors are just kind of obscure.
Yeah, you won't even see that there are doors.
Well, after you, Raymond, let's go upstairs.
Alright, let's go. And when we say decay, right now you're probably thinking like, this doesn't seem that bad, right guys? Well, it doesn't. Absolutely not. But if we look to the other part of the staircase...
Oh my lord.
I've never seen something like that.
Holy black moly mother of God.
Yeah, that's definitely something good to name it.
It's almost like they just painted those walls or actually hung black wallpaper over them like...
Yeah. It's very crazy, right?
Yeah, that's a lot of black mold. Well, and then over here, actually right after you come upstairs, You have this little kitchen, so maybe this was like a little servant area where they were making some meals. Because it's a really tiny kitchen for actually such a castle like this.
Yeah. Explains a lot, of course. Okay, now we are in the kitchen. Should we immediately do the test?
Yeah, let's do the fridge test. Oh well, we have some beers. They definitely liked a glass of liquor.
I want to check for dates. But I don't think I can find one actually. No.
2010 is the closest date that we were able to find. So we were thinking numerous decades of abandonment, but it's probably just a decade. But in the end, it's just the maintenance of those castles that just leads them to slowly decompose over time.
Oh yeah. And I mean, windows are open over here. Oxygen comes in.
And the water.
And the water, of course.
Humidity does a lot of damage to the property. So over here, inside the kitchen cabinet, we still have everything left behind. Look, this hasn't been opened over time because you can just see the spider webs between there. Crazy.
Yeah,
And just all left.
all is like still there. And actually, this part over here, the door is very squeaky, so
Oh, this is literally an open air toilet.
yep.
Well, we can maybe show some of the fields surrounding the castle. The toilet is very messy over here. What a beautiful landscape. Well, you can see a little bit. But that's all we're gonna show because, yeah, we just care about this place and we love the perspective of the landscape surrounding this place. It truly is very serene, calm, beautiful.
Be safe out there, bro. Damn,
Yeah,
that must be a harsh ride. Alright, let's close it up again. And then let's continue.
well, before we go to the upstairs over this moldy staircase, let's just firstly go to this side over here. We have a sconce on the sides, made from wood, pretty unique actually.
Yeah,
It looks like they maybe even made it themselves.
it actually looks like a torch. Yeah, and then we continue to the beautiful rooms.
Oh, look over here. It says the date 2012 on this paper.
Ah, okay. I wasn't thinking that long, but
No, well, especially now when you look behind you again.
yeah, it's just disgusting. Honestly. Well,
This will lead to the other room and it's actually really beautiful to see because this room is gonna be constructed out of this type of wood and it already starts over here with the interior of this door.
you will really enjoy the details over here. This must be like an office part, I think.
Look at those doors over here too.
I hadn't seen them actually, but... Oh yeah,
Oh! I wasn't expecting that.
well, a lot of crystal, and look over there, it's copper.
Yeah,
It's completely made out of copper.
some beautiful kitchenware and indeed a lot of crystal. It's beautiful. Oh my. There is so much stuff in here.
A coffee machine over there.
Yeah. Of course, it's also a lot of work to empty everything of this out. But still, it's hard to believe it always gets left behind in this way.
Uh-huh. Oh. Oh, look, Mo, look. There's a sink.
Whoa.
Inside.
And look at the tiles as well. I gotta show it a little bit more from an up-close perspective. It is actually really beautiful. Oh wait, it's wallpaper.
Yeah.
A sink inside the cabinet. I'm not sure if I've ever seen that.
No, and there's also some liquor. 𝗦𝘁cie𝗿𝘆𝗹𝗶.
Cointreau, yeah. That's actually French liquor. It has like an orange taste.
Oh, cool. Okay.
It's pretty good. You should try it one time.
Yeah, not this one.
No, not that one, no. Well, this was definitely all for cleaning.
Yeah, I was honestly thinking that this part was like also for the servants, but where they used to like clean everything and just clear the table and all the glasses and clean it over there, that would really explain the sink in there.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be logic. We have another fridge from Arthur Martin. Blech. Ah.
Well, yeah, there is moldy stuff inside. And it smells very bad.
Heineken.
Yeah, a Dutch beer. We're not that far from the Netherlands right now. Close that fridge, bro, because this smell is not any good.
Okay, bro. These beers were fresh.
Fresh?
Yeah.
How do you mean?
2023.
Really?
Yeah.
That's very strange.
They look very repulsive. But this is very, very strange.
Maybe somebody comes here sometimes.
And drinks some glasses of beer and then they go?
Yeah. Then they go and they leave this place behind like this. And over here we have another room and look at the floor carpet and everything. And over here we are starting to see that we are indeed in a castle. Because so far we've only seen the basements, we've seen a tiny kitchen,
Yeah.
we've seen a room that was probably used for cleaning, but now with those curtains and tall ceilings, paintwork, we can tell we're inside a castle.
Yeah. An abandoned chateau.
Sconces over here as well.
Well, storage of course. Just some small things. Books.
You can just see the presence of mold on the walls over there. It's very sad. It's unbelievable how quickly that has happened. They clearly do not want anybody to come inside because they've closed it with planks. But then at the same time we just came inside through the basement and the door was just unlocked.
It was easy. It was like wide open.
What's inside these numerous big drawers over here?
I can't open them up any further, bro.
Well, another postcard of a chateau somewhere nearby.
That's definitely not this one.
Nah, this one is a little bit bigger.
What is this? What is it? Is it a lighter or something?
I think it's a pocket flashlight.
Oh yeah, it is. Damn, that's cool. Yeah, just some small items. A Jesus statue. What else can we find? A box?
Oh, you're lucky you can open it. It's actually a little paint kit.
Oh yeah.
You can see the brushes inside there, the paints.
Yeah, look at that.
Okay, that's wow. And what if you open that over here? What's inside of that?
Well, damn.
Whoa!
All the paint tubes.
Oh, look at that.
Imagine how small they used to be.
Yeah, so small.
And how careful you had to be while painting.
Yeah, very conservative.
Uh-huh. Alright. Let's place it back where it belongs. Ah, it's hard. Yes, that's it. Well, next, the other room?
Yeah, let's open that door up. Just look at the height of this room. Once again, it's just impressive. This room is gonna be amazing.
Oh yeah, look.
Wow. Yeah, that's a large room. I love all the woodwork inside this place. And then we even have a hunting rifle over here. Look at that, guys. Just a hunting rifle on the floor here. Double barrel. If we close those doors, you can see the woodwork just continues. Raymond's currently checking if the coast is clear.
Yeah.
To see if we can stay inside this place, because people are living not very far from this place.
Yeah, and you can see the driveway is like right there, so I just wanted to check.
Look at that, the stove over here, saying 305 with the little emblem.
What are these?
They're little plates for, ornaments.
Yeah, but it's...
decoration.
It has like this oriental vibe.
Yeah, well, little Chinaware.
Yeah, I really like the architecture in here. And also the ceiling.
I think it used to be the foyer where they would receive guests, gather around the table, have some conversations.
Yeah.
Like you say, this chandelier is beautiful. The contrast of the fake flowers and the moldings on top. They're on top, on the ceiling, and indeed the fake flowers. There's the gun I just mentioned.
Yeah, crazy, right? A hunting rifle.
Over here we have some more items to make the table with some more plates and tiny things.
I think they stored the majority where we just were.
Yeah, that was definitely the jackpot.
Yeah.
Look at this. This reminds me a little bit from the USA.
Yeah.
With this radio inside.
It is a US brand, right? Gründig. Or is it? I don't think I can open it up actually. It should be possible, but yeah, that's pretty closed.
I absolutely adore the woodwork of this dresser over here.
Dang, Mo.
Yeah?
Look. I think this is all silver. All silverware. Since you can see, not even a single item has been oxidated.
That's really silverware over here.
Yeah, right?
I think so.
Definitely these. This is definitely real silver.
It's not rusty at all.
No, absolutely not. And just lying here like, not even in a box or something. I was not expecting to find that in a place like this. Damn. And what is down here? I'm curious, yeah. Just some other plates and crystallized glass. Nothing special.
You can definitely tell that you're in a castle with all these curtains and drapes over here.
And
So grand.
what do we have over here?
Oh, it's a little secretary.
And look. It's for a necklace.
Yeah. With some little religious imprints.
Yep.
Is this for guns?
It looks like it.
Yeah.
Well, we will find some, we will find some bullets, believe me. Well, nothing more or less. Just some games. Let's close it up. And then we go to the next room, man.
And that is right behind these wooden doors.
The wooden doors. This hidden wooden door.
Wow. Look at that. We come in another room with a table over here, 2 chairs are poised around, beautiful marble work.
Beautiful, right? Do you think it's real marble? Yeah, it definitely is. Yep,
Another good question probably, but I think this was the main door, right?
it is, it is. This was the main door.
The main door of the castle where they used to come in. So maybe this was actually the foyer where the people would sit before guided to another room.
True.
Music was played over there on the upright piano, and then right here, where we just were, was the dining room.
Yeah, this was the dining area.
Beautiful to see all the marble. What did you find? An old franc coin?
Yeah, an old franc coin. 10 centime. 1985. Wow. What I really love over here. Do you feel this? Because this was the last owner. Because it was a woman that used to live in here in the last days. You can find medicines everywhere, so
Yeah, there is also still a very old picture of her in one of the bedrooms. I found it yesterday. Because we already checked this place out yesterday and today we came back because we just had to explore it properly. And then the owner, it looks like he also obtained some awards, some medals of honor maybe.
yeah, that's a Medal of Honor. All of them, actually.
I never understand it. Somebody that had such prestige and lived an important life, did good things for society, and then this castle just ends up right now
Uh-huh.
the way it is.
Completely abandoned.
What is this? Was it for a horse?
Yeah, it is, it is.
To train it?
It is, man, yep. Well, I'm not going to rule it out, but as you can see, it's definitely for a horse. To train it.
Over here is also still a little Jesus statue on this pedestal.
And then the beautiful piano.
Yeah, a plial. We can tell welcome back in France with plial pianos.
Alright, let's get it.
This one still works very well.
Yeah, it works properly. Damn, that shocked me. Bro.
Over here is even still some taxidermy.
Yeah.
And what is this? Is the lamp cover actually paper?
Yep, it is. It is. It's quite common. I've seen it multiple times. Still the songs over here. Very cool.
Actually, from here we come to this grandiose and marvelous staircase. It's just formidable. It's beautiful how the light is all falling through the windows over there. And this is the main corridor.
Yep, this is the main corridor. This is where the people would really come in. Some movies over here. And Old 𝗬𝗎cie movie.
Over here you can see men on horses with all their dogs. So many dogs are portrayed in frame.
It's also a French dog, right? That one.
Yeah, probably. You might be right. I don't know a lot about dogs, to be honest. Over here we have all the hunting trophies.
Well, and that what's pretty cool is, look at the date. Damn. 1931.
And this one is even from 1907.
Crazy, right? 1908, 1930. Wow, yeah. Old.
Look at the stable. That is pretty unique, like.
Yeah. Actually, my grandfather had like the same design with these knobs.
And even over here, under the staircase, we have another little door where you could store some items. Before we're going to the upstairs level, we still haven't shown this part of the corridor.
Oh yeah. We completely forgot this. Well, you can tell one thing. They at least tried to clean a little bit over here.
Yeah, it seems like they tried to put some stuff on the sides, but for some reason nobody ever cleaned it out entirely. Maybe they still had ambitions to live here. Also, look over here, like, we have an old print from war times.
Yeah.
And over here on the wall, we have so much black mold.
Wow.
Why particularly here, I always ask. Why not on the wallpaper over there, but why this specific corner?
Well, I think it's a slowly spreading thing. I think it has to do with rain and then it slowly starts spreading.
Oh, look over here at the book. Notre-Dame de Lourdes.
Stories about Our Lady.
A religious book. Beautiful with the pages illustrated that way. It's beautiful with these illustrations. Every page has a different illustration.
Yeah, it has. It's also quite interesting how it's written. Don't you see it? Well, let's close it up. Yeah. You can definitely tell that they at least tried to clean a little bit.
Then we have another sofa. There is probably some wallpaper in these tubes.
Yep.
And over here we have another room, and look at this splendid ceiling. It reminds me a bit of Portugal.
The design, right? Beautiful. The gun case.
Oh yeah.
Is there still a gun inside? Nah.
Well, we already found one of the guns, but it seems that these cases are empty.
Yes.
And also the smell is still pretty okay inside this room, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think this used to be like an office where they worked. Right next to the foyer.
Oh, over here are even some cards. Credit cards, but I can't show that.
Do you see a name, like a surname? What's the surname?
Neveux. Yes.
Neveux, okay, so at least we know that it was Mrs. and Mr. Neveux that lived there, in the chateau, rurally located in France. And here is also the bullet that we were discussing previously.
It hasn't been shot. It's still pretty heavy.
Oh, I see also the name Diane over here.
So
So it was Mrs. Diane. Some more taxidermy over here. This bird, it looks pretty weird. There is so much paperwork and everything on the ground.
yeah.
We're not gonna show too much of the personal documents. Some more taxidermy. This chair is beautiful, by the way.
Yeah, it's pretty detailed, right?
Wow, and look at the painting over here. I hadn't even seen that. It's probably one of the family ancestors.
And look. The emblem.
Yeah, it must be the family coat of arms. Beautiful.
Well, and what's quite cool, over here are more bullets. They haven't been fired. But what is cool is that you can clearly see this one has been fired.
Yep. There is nothing inside that anymore.
No. What is this? Oh, just a marker. Okay. Oh yeah, wait.
Oh, that seems like a pretty deadly weapon.
Yeah, it is for animals.
Okay.
Just to make
To cut them open.
puncture and make a very big wound. So of course, they needed that on the hunts.
Yep. It seems to have been a Frenchman who definitely loved hunting.
Yep, right.
Oh yeah, that was definitely their love, yeah. Alright. And from the little office parts, we come back in the main corridor. And we have another room right next to us. I think these people actually like painting. Look over here. And more paintings over here.
Yeah.
If you can lift the other ones off, we can see more paintings beneath it too. Look at that. There are some words of theirs. It seems this one wasn't even finished yet.
They're quite unique actually.
Uh-huh.
It's sad that they've just been stored over here like smashed and
Completely forgotten about.
yeah, completely forgotten about.
Over here is a little staircase that leads to the basement as well. Plenty of magazines here. Wow. Look at this mirror. Beautiful. Definitely a chateau-esque mirror.
I've never seen something like this.
I think it was for the ladies so you could see everything from multiple angles. I was more fascinated by this. We have some very old portraits over here, but I can't touch them because they're really dirty and I'm not wearing gloves.
Let's take a look.
Look at them. Wow. It's a woman, right?
Yep, it is. Well, yeah, it's a woman. Yeah.
There is another one beneath it. Of this man.
Want to know another cool fact? This room we're going to see right now, you haven't seen yet.
Ah, it's right behind there, right?
Yeah. And now I remember, like, okay, so these paintings.
Oh, look, there is another painting.
Oh,
I just spotted it. Wow. With this old wig, it's definitely back in time. This is a very old portrait and it's probably from a century ago. Maybe even older.
Yeah. Well, I was talking about paintings, just like you. Because over here, they really loved painting. They were definitely artists. Because look, do you see the easel right over there? There are multiple of these inside this building to simply place their paintings on. So here we go. Let's crawl over. It's quite hard. Okay.
Alright. There is even another painting. Oh wow, yeah. A beautiful one as well.
Okay then, Moreno. Let's open it up. This was the room where they used to put all their paintings.
Wow. Beautiful. Look at this, guys. The grand chandelier in the middle. Also the size of those mirrors always in those castles. It's phenomenal. You can just see that parts of the mirror are just slowly falling down.
Yeah.
On top of the fireplace mantle.
Okay.
Wow, look at that. Another portrait over here of this man.
Well, I'm pretty amazed about something. And I think you'll be too. I think it's something personal.
Oh, another bird.
Do you remember?
Do I remember what?
This one used to be in the attic.
Yeah?
Yesterday.
Yeah?
Why is it here?
I think it's another one, right?
I'm not quite sure. It looks very similar.
I hope so, otherwise somebody has been here.
Yeah, that's why I'm actually quite amazed.
I'm actually also amazed by this cabinet, Raymond. Look at all those details. With the golden foliage. A beautiful oriental cabinet. Very antique. Wow. We've got plenty of old magazines from the 1970s, 1980s.
Nah, I can't open it up. But I just really like this room, man.
I also love the sofa over here.
Yeah, this one's very unique. And it must be very comfortable as well. Yeah, it definitely is. It's good.
Alright, well, then we showed everything on this floor.
Yep.
It's time for us to go to the upstairs level, so let's go. Well, and this is always something very typical for France. Those glass spheres that you see on the front of the banisters.
Yeah, it is. Well, that's where we go upstairs. I really like the light that's coming through here. This is a very bright part.
It's a beautiful sunshiny day today. It's summertime.
Yeah.
There's a statue over there from Jesus.
And this one over here says 𝗦𝘁cie𝗿𝗆𝗆.
I always find it fascinating if you look to those old prints.
Yeah.
It teaches you about the times that went on here back in the day, when people lived inside the chateau, the first generation that ever lived and resided in this place.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Also, the storytelling that's portrayed in these portraits. Well, we can see some signs of water damage.
Oh yeah, severe damage from leakage. The floor is just collapsing over here.
Yeah, it is. I honestly think that this part is, yeah, near to collapse actually.
Yeah, and also the cabinet is close to fall.
Ha, yeah. And look over here. I don't think this one is as comfortable as the one downstairs. No, absolutely not. Definitely not. Immediately some dust in my eye.
Are you okay?
I'm good, yeah. Would there still be something in these drawers? Some coins?
Franks again.
Yeah, some francs, man.
Also some old cigarettes over here inside this box.
𝗦𝘁cie𝗿𝗆𝗆. A package of Pall Mall. A night badge.
Well, and then we are going to the bedrooms. There is one over here. Oh, and look on top of the nightstand right next to it. There is this old motor helmet.
That's very cool.
With the goggles.
Yeah. What is that? I'm not quite sure. I think I need to pull that, but I'm not going to do that.
What do you think it is?
Yeah, I've got no clue. But with that ring on top, it looks like a grenade. Do you think this is a kid's bedroom?
I'm not sure. I don't know. Wow. A beautiful chair over here as well. Very playful with all those colors on the walls.
This one is a proper antique one.
This is a proper antique record player, yeah.
I think this could even be one of the first ones ever made. I've never seen one like this.
Inside one of those cases.
Some other portraits, historic tales.
Always in these old places in France, the importance of religion comes back and is beautifully reflected through these places.
Yeah, it's always evident. Well,
I think that's leading to the next room, but it's actually barricaded by a cabinet or a wardrobe.
a huge one.
And right over here is another little door, and this probably used to be a walk-in closet where they would store some clothes. There are still some trousers over here, some suitcases and books, old comic books.
Yep. Look. These seem to be shoes of an older person. I think this was like the last bedroom that was used by the last occupants. Yeah. The people that used to live there. Quite a small hallway, actually.
Yeah, it's pretty narrow. And then over here we have another room. There are so many old magazines and everything inside. And look at that frame with a windmill. It might be in our own country, the Netherlands.
And look. A cool detail.
Oh, a little toy car.
Well, not just a single toy car. It's from Le Mans.
What is that?
It's like a racetrack in France. Very, very famous racetrack.
Okay.
And with this car, they used to set records. It was like one of the first race cars, you know?
Okay, alright. I didn't know that actually.
Huh. I really like the set actually. That still looks quite decent, don't you think so?
Yeah, and what is this over here?
Framboises du vrai.
There used to be candies inside or something.
Yeah. And now just some leaves.
Over here we already found the name Diane, and this was actually dedicated to François.
And also the same last name.
François, Gérald. So we have some more names. And look, over here is one of those records that we found in the basement.
Yeah.
Also some very old pictures over here. These pictures were taken between the year 1933 and 1934. With the children. Probably something that they did in school.
And is it in front of this place?
No, it's not in front of this castle. But it's probably somewhere nearby.
Yeah, it is somewhere around here.
Look at the decay in this space. Very dirty, and we can see a huge presence of black mold again.
Yeah, we shouldn't go in here.
But if you close it again, you can tell.
It's a hidden door.
Yeah, it's a hidden door again.
Well, we can't close it completely, but it was supposed to be hidden.
What's inside this wardrobe?
I think there will be clothes actually.
A lot of blankets, sheets.
Yeah, no clothes. Cause in the other one, it's the same story. As you can tell.
And also look at that little print over there.
Also religious, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
It seems to be a religious person again.
Yep.
What's that on the ground? Congregation très sainte Vierge? This was for a person named Jacques, and it dates actually from the year 1900.
Damn.
It seems to be like a honorary awards. It was awarded to him on the 20th of May 1900. Jacques Neveux.
That's the man we saw downstairs.
Yeah, probably.
But like, before that.
Uh-huh.
It's the grandfather of the last person that lived there. So the grandfather of the grandfather. Crazy.
The great-grandfather.
Yeah, the great-grandfather. And I think this is a strange room actually, because
it just seems to be like a copy-paste from the other room. Again, a French sleigh bed.
no, there is not much except for all these, bags?
I don't know what they stored inside, but I think mostly clothes.
Yeah.
Mostly clothes, I think.
Yeah, their clothes are like all clothes.
I think they really tried to store things here. They wanted to move things out, but I always find it strange that you find signs of people trying to save the family relics, but eventually it just ends up in this neglected state.
They just quit, you know?
Yeah, and then they just discontinue. A comic book over here.
Sometimes what I just think is, out of all the things that are left, maybe it's just that these people have like a community, and then someone tells them like, yeah, I wouldn't restore everything because it has absolutely no value. You know? Asterix and Obelix.
Oh, what's inside of here? Another sewing machine?
Yeah, it is, it is. Well, look. There's a sewing machine inside.
Inside its case.
Inside its case, right?
What's there? Another walk-in closet?
Yes.
That was the wardrobe blocking the other door, right?
Yep.
look at that. A little balcony over here. This would be your view in the morning. On the same floor we find two other bedrooms. In the first one, time has stripped away the grandeur, leaving behind a canvas of decay. Wallpaper peels from the walls, clearly showing the passing of decades. Yet, even in ruin, art lingers. Forgotten frames lean against the corners, their subjects staring into the void of time. The second bedroom is draped in history and black mold. Two wooden French sleigh beds rest in stillness, as if waiting for their owners to return from dreams long forgotten. Black mold has claimed the walls, swallowing them in darkness, yet traces of life remain. Fading photographs, mementos of generations now lost. For centuries, noble hands passed this home from one to the next, until at last silence settled in and history closed its doors. Amongst the dust, vintage magazines lie scattered, the lost echoes of a time that once thrived. But that's not all this marvelous chateau has to offer. We ascend now, higher into the forgotten. The staircase creaks beneath our steps, blanketed in the remnants of a collapsing ceiling. Webs weave between the banister, a sign of how long this path has been untouched. The attic is a crypt of time. The rain has carved its own mark here, warping wood and weakening the bones of the chateau. We also find a dust-covered frame that offers a glimpse of another grand estate. Hopefully this one is not lost to history now. In the same space, there stands an old pram, but inside is not a child's doll. In fact, there is a miniature castle, a dream within a dream. The second room in the attic could have been a child's bedroom, now a cradle to forgotten youth. A tiny blackboard leans against the wall, its surface now speckled with pigeon droppings instead of chalk. And even more prams can be found in this room, yet their wheels stand frozen in time. And then the final room in the attic, a place untouched for what seems like centuries. Once, this was a bedroom, a place where somebody woke up each morning to the golden light of dawn. They stood at this very table, grooming themselves, gazing beyond the windows, and in the center a single bird hangs, tangled by a thread. So in fact, there were two of them in the chateau. This chateau holds more than decay. It holds the memories of those who once called it home. So we found a lot of names. We had Jacques, we had Chirél, we had Diane, but we actually didn't find a lot about what these people used to do in their daily life.
No, I think...
Also, this place literally in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
It's in the countryside, and
Yeah.
we couldn't find any historical records with our research on the internet.
No, there was literally no information. The only thing I think we can conclude is that they really love painting, like maybe they were artists, we don't know.
They also definitely had servants back in the day.
Yeah, they were probably very wealthy, I think. It had to do something with that, because otherwise you wouldn't have that much wealth, of course. But after all, I really enjoyed the chateau, man. It had some beautiful rooms. Just everything of a good chateau was there. I would say so, right?
Yeah, that's right. It feels good to be back in France again. Also be out exploring again after everything that happened in the USA.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was the first exploration again, man.
Yeah, man. Alright. That was quite crazy, actually.
I hope you liked it, guys.
Yep.
And if you did, you know the drill as always.
You know the drill as always. Like, subscribe, comment right down below. Ring the bell notification button right up there. And then we see you not on the next adventure, in the next chateau. Peace out.
Peace out. Next week on Explomo, we document a half-timbered abandoned house in Germany, full of history from the war times. Don't miss out on this incredible time capsule.